welcome to this week's Bible moment. We are in week 2 of Survivor. So today we're going to talk about our second survivor. If you remember last week, our first survivor was David. Our story was about David and Goliath and how David defeated Goliath the giant. Have you defeated any of your giants this week? Have you made a plan? Remember last week we wrote out a plan of how to camp. Like I needed a tent, needed a backpack, I needed to know where I was going, my compass, which was actually on my phone. I had a lantern for light, pillows, knapsacks, everything like that. I had a plan. So this week we are going to be learning of how would you build a shelter out and to survive, right? To be a survivor, how would you build a shelter? Now I'm I'm under our play set, but I want it to look like a lean-to. You know, like if you had a piece of wood and a stick and you would be under it, that's a little lean-to. Or if you had a tarp and a string, you could make it look like a tent. What would you build out in like the wilderness to survive in? You could hunker down under a tree. Look, you could get some leaves and use the leaves as a roof to keep you dry. If you watch Survivor, they weave in and out real tight the leaves to make their roofs of their lean-tos. All right, let me grab my action Bible for this week. Got our notes, and I've got my backpack Bible. Do you have a bandana? What? I wish you were here. We could be on the Survivor Alliance. I forgot those were in my backpack. And then get out your bandana, wrap it around your head, and let's join in this week's reading. Now remember, during this Survivor series, we have a memory verse. Do you remember the memory verse? Well, it is in Psalms 29:11. I remember in last week's you got your little scripture reading, your memory verse, and it'll be in this week's also, because this is our memory verse throughout this Survivor series. It is, "The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace." That's our little memory verse. And then I have our action Bible to read this week's survivor. And this week's survivor is Rahab. It's a girl! Yay, girl team! But hey, who doesn't like men too? So David was our first survivor. This week is Rahab. So let's jump into the action Bible and read all about her story. That's probably gonna blow away. All right. Okay, and this is Joshua. The Lord came to Joshua and asked him to take over the city of Jericho. So during this time, Joshua is talking to his 2 spies that he's gonna send into this city to spy out the city before they take it over, and then they'll have to report back to Joshua. So that's where this story picks up. All right, so that night at the river's edge, Joshua's telling his 2 men, "You scouts will be in danger every minute. Be careful, learn all you can, and come back soon." So they are in a boat crossing the Jordan River over to Jericho. The next day, inside of the city of Jericho, the 2 soldiers that Joshua sent is scoping it out. It says, "These walls are thick and high and well fortified, and the soldiers here are well armed. Let's see if we can find a room to stay at this house." "Those strangers look suspicious," the people of Jericho said. "I'm going to report them to the captain of the guard." When Joshua's 2 spies entered Jericho, they avoided the public inn, and they looked for a place to stay in a house of a woman named Rahab. "We're strangers to this city. Do you have room to where we can stay the night?" Rahab said, "Yes, you can stay here." Again, people of the city of Jericho, to the king's soldiers, they said, "Those people look very suspicious to me. I will find out why they are here." So later on in that evening, as Rahab was looking out her window, she said, "Do you know, have you been followed?" she asked the two spies. "Followed? By whom?" "I hear footsteps. Quick, I'll hide you guys up on the roof." "We saw two men near your house." Now these are the king of Jericho's soldiers in her home. "We saw two men near your house. Where are they?" "Two men were looking for a room to stay the night, but they just left before the gates of the cities were closed. If you hurry, you might catch them. The soldiers have gone, but they may have left someone to watch the house." This is Rahab talking to the spies up on the roof. "How can we escape then?" "I know God will help you Israelites take Jericho. If I help you escape, will you protect me and my family when your army takes over this city?" The scouts promised safety for Rahab and her family. "Okay, we'll hide out into the mountains for 3 days. After that, it'll be safe for you to cross the river to go to your own camp. When the attack comes," now this is the spy talking to Rahab, "when the attack comes, keep your family in the house and tie this red rope in your window so when our men come, they will know where you live." The scouts obeyed Rahab. After 3 days, they reported back to Joshua. The city is well defined with 2 walls. Each wall is 30 feet high. The outer wall is 6 feet thick and the inner wall is 12 feet thick. That's pretty big. But they have people that have heard about us, and they are all afraid. "Good work," Joshua said. "Well, we will go ahead with our plan to cross the Jordan and take over Jericho. The river is wide and it has a swift current. How can we get across, and how are we going to get our people across? God helped our people cross the Red Sea. Let's trust Him to help us now." And that is our story about Rahab and the 2 spies. So let's jump over to snacks and crafts about today's reading. All right, let's jump into snacks and crafts. To go over what we just read, we read about Rahab and the 2 spies. And remember, we built a lean-to. That's what I was trying to be underneath it and asking you, what would you build to survive out in the wilderness? It says, in the wild, you will need to build shelter to survive the elements. The elements is the rain, snow, hot, the heat. In the kingdom of God, your kindness, remember Rahab was kindness, to others will help you thrive. Remember, Rahab, it was almost like a redemption for Rahab. She was not a very nice, I would say she was a good person, but she didn't make good choices. But then now she made a very good choice to hide the spies. All right, so that is a reiterating of our story. And today's snack, we are making haystacks. Because remember, Rahab hid the 2 spies up on a roof under straw. So what came to my mind is my grandmother used to make us haystacks. And it takes a half a cup of peanut butter, a cup of butterscotch morsels, and 2 cups of marshmallows, all warmed up. And that's what's in my bowl here. It's kind of getting hard and sticky, so I gotta move quick. But it's peanut butter, butterscotch morsels, and marshmallows. And then you take the chow mein noodles to make it look like haystacks. And then you can also use pretzel sticks. You can use all kind of variety to stick in your. So we are gonna stick them in here. And then you just let them dry and they turn out to be a little good cookie. Alright, thanks, Lauren. Alright, there we go. And we're gonna crunch them all down in there. Whoa, they're popping out. And Lauren's gonna snack on them as always. She's a snacker. You just crush them all down in there. You can use peanuts, cashews, like I said, pretzel stick if you like the salty and sweet taste. All right, I'm just gonna whip one out of here real quick because I know the video, I don't wanna make it very long. But you would just get all this as much as you can in there. And you just get them out and you put them on your tray. Oh, See, my stuff's not as warm. It cooled down a little bit since I'm out here outside. But there you go. You just make little haystacks, and when they dry nice and they don't get real hard. It's kind of like a no-bake cookie. That's what it kind of reminds me of. But just haystacks. It reminded me of the two spies that hid on Rahab's roof. There you go. You want to pinch that together? There you go. Or just pinch them together. Kind of pinch them together. There are cookies, so we can use our fingers, I guess. We'll make one more, and then we'll move on. I got one more snack idea. There you go. Forming little haystacks. Here, let's add some more straw. There you go. Okay, well that's our little haystack snacks. And then, real quick, if you don't have any of this at home, but if you head to the store, I thought about Twizzlers, because this reminded me of the rope the two spies asked Rahab to hang out of her window. Remember, they climbed down to stay in the mountains for 3 days, and they said, now leave this in your window so we know which house is yours. And this actually splits. Oops. We like this. It's the split kind of Twizzlers. But anyways, this red reminded me to hang it in Rahab's window. And when you eat your snack today, think of that story. All right, there you go. All right, I'm gonna move my snack over to the side. We're gonna jump right into crafts. All right, for our craft today. Now last week, remember, we made the slingshot from David and Goliath out of a toilet paper roll and a balloon. This week, I'm gonna make, since the two spies, an I Spy jar. And actually, you can make it from a bottled water. If you have a bottle of water, of course, drink all the water out. Fill it with, you can foam beads or regular beads. Today I'm gonna use rice. You can use rice, and it gets real crinkly. So if you like that crinkly feel, it helps you with that. But like I said, I'm gonna do a clear jar, and I'm gonna use all my goodies to see what I can stick in a jar. And I've got a bag of rice. Now, you can do a lot with a bag of rice. Maybe that will be a cooking show another day. But you can have fried rice, Spanish rice, cilantro and rice and chicken. I really like rice. Maybe one of these days I'll cook it up for you. How many things we can make out of rice. All right, but for today's factor, I've got all kinds. Here, open a pencil. I'll have Lauren stick that in there. Just stick one. See if it's two. I got crayons. You know, it's back to school. Crayons.
Stick it.
Yeah, just see if it's there.
It's too big.
Too big? We might have to take it out of there, but that's okay. We've got a crayon. Let's stick a crayon in there. Go ahead and here, stick some paper clips. I've got paper clips in there. And fill up our jar here a little bit. Hide that crayon. There you go. Stick some of those in there. Handful of those in there. And then what else did I get? I've got pom-poms. Remember, we used these last week actually in David and Goliath, but we can stick a couple pom-poms in there. I've got dice. Thought maybe we could throw a couple of dice in there. And then you can shake it around and try to find what all's in there. What do you spy? Have you ever played that game with your family? I spy with my little eye, and the color is, and then you pick a color, and then your family tries to guess
what it is.
What it is from that color, right? We play that game a lot. We used to play it when we had to wait on tables from a restaurant. We play it camping now. All right, I'm gonna fill that up to the brim.
I want to take this out.
I know, our pencil's a little too tall. Let's
mash it in there.
But now, if you look close, you can I spy Look, you can start to see all the colors, the crayon, paper clips, the erasers. That is so fun. And then a pencil, I guess if we shortened our pencil a little bit, you could find the pencil in the middle. But that is a fun game to play, is I Spy, since we had 2 spies in our story. And then our last little craft is, I thought we're gonna make it out of soap, since we gotta keep washing our hands during these times. And I have shaved a bowl of soap. Actually, my son almost ate this. He thought it was coconut. I had to stop him. But take a bar of soap, any bar of soap. You could take your Dial, your Irish Spring, your, oh, I don't know, whatever all soap you have. I just had Kirk soap on hand. And now you might have an adult. Please do this. Don't go cut yourself. But you shred it. You shred a whole bar. Now I've already did 1 bar. And this is our 2nd bar of soap. Remember, keep your hands clean. Wash for at least, 20 seconds. Sing the alphabet. Get under your nails. So this will help you stay away from the germs. Okay, we'll see how much soap we have. Hopefully we have enough soap. And I've shaved it. And then where's our little car? Do I have our, let's see if it's in my bag. There it is. It's in my bag of tricks. Who would have thought? All right, so we've got a little toy. And we're gonna hide it in soap. And you make the soap around it, and that way when you bathe or wash your hands, you'll spy this. You'll finally get to the toy. So Lauren's gonna help me hide that and make a ball of soap. So go right ahead, Lauren. You can hold it in your hand. Hold it in your hand, and like, there you go, put it like that. Now put the toy down in there, and then try to crunch it up in the soap. And if you need water, there's water to help. It'll help be the glue. Watch, do it with water. You'll be able to tell what I mean. There, see, like that? There you go. Start, there, see, like that? Now just clump it up. Keep clumping it up. There you go, just like that. Clump it up. There you go. Hide that toy. This is great for birthday parties too. There you go. Now you're hiding it. Hide that toy. Make it like a little softball or a little baseball. There you go. We got plenty of soap. We could have made a couple of them. Okay, show Anthony. All right, look at our bar of soap. Here, add a couple more. Try to hide that little car, and then it'll harden. Once it dries, it'll harden. And now when you wash your hands, or like I said, take a bath, you'll have a prize. You'll win a prize.
I'm gonna rinse off my hands.
You're gonna rinse it off? All right, I'm gonna finish this up, you guys. I hope you guys loved today's story, and we will see you later. All right, once again, I have gathered my family tribe, and we have all discussed and voted, and tonight's people that is voted off the island is the Canaanites.
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain cry.